Today, we've got more shocking news about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, as well as confirmation of just how powerful this phone is going to be, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got a tweet from Sperandio for Tech, and he says that the 3x zoom camera is being dropped from the S25 Ultra, and it's not even going to be replaced, meaning that the S25 Ultra is only going to come with 3 cameras and the laser sensor. Now, to be clear, I've never heard of this leaker, and it's the first time I've ever seen his name. He also doesn't seem to have much of a following at the moment, so for now, I would completely disregard the information. We also had a tweet from Ice Universe yesterday, and he says it's certain that the S25 Ultra still has the 4 cameras in total, and he says that Samsung won't be removing the 3x lens, but an upgrade is very possible, and he also advises that we're going to need to wait if we want more specific information. Now next up, we've got news that while the battery capacity is going to remain the same as last year, we are going to be seeing some improvements in the battery life thanks to AI, and this is going to analyze the usage patterns and optimize the background tasks in order to extend the battery life, and apparently we can expect this to improve the battery life by 5 to 10%. So this is great news for those of you that want a longer battery, but to be honest, there are already plenty of adaptive battery saving features built into One UI, and I've already covered these in a best settings video, so I'll place a link to that down in the description below for anyone that wants to see it. Next up, we've got more news on the performance of the phone, and it looks like Samsung are going to be following the same strategy as last year by including the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in all of the Ultra models globally, and they're only going to be using the Exynos in the S25 and the S25 Plus in certain regions. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 is expected to bring with it more improvements than usual, and it's going to be a 3nm chipset running higher clock speeds than we've previously seen from the Qualcomm chipsets, and like we've seen in the past, there's a good chance that Samsung phones are going to be running a unique version of the chip. Now, Digital Chat Station advises that the GPU performance is also going to be greatly improved, and it's going to be able to run the popular game Genshin Impact flawlessly at 1080p, and for those unaware, it's a graphically demanding game that most phones are running at 720p. Now next up, I've received some information in regards to the S25 Ultra, and apparently we're finally going to see a full screen display with no punch hole camera for the selfies. The news comes from a source that's contacted me, and they say that there have been improvements to the under panel cameras, which means that Samsung is very likely to use it in the S25 Ultra, but they also advise that it's not perfect either. Now apparently there are prototypes being tested with the under panel selfie camera, and there's also going to be AI features added to the phone to help you take photos with the rear camera for when you do need those maximum quality selfies. But when it comes to this leak, this is someone that's got in contact with me fairly recently, and I hope the information is accurate, but with no proven track record, I can't give any information on how reliable this could be. But nonetheless, the Samsung Galaxy S25 series is looking like a great addition to the lineup, and for those of you that are excited, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing of each model in the range to help you guys decide which one is right for you. So make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the standard Galaxy S25, which is coming with a 6.36-inch dynamic AMOLED display with improvements to brightness and color accuracy. We're getting a 120Hz display with HDR10 Plus and a resolution of 1080 by 2340, and of course protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch hole camera for the selfies, and then on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra-wide and a telephoto camera, but unfortunately at this time we don't know the exact sensors being used. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in USA, and the global models are going to be using the Exynos 2500, and it's coming with a choice of 8 or 12 GB of RAM and 128 up to 512 GB storage, and this will be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4100 mAh battery with 45 watt fast charging, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and it's expected to launch from around $800 in January 25. So next up, we've got the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus, which is coming with a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and again we get improvements to brightness and color accuracy. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10 Plus and a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and again is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12 megapixel punch hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra wide and a telephoto, but again, at this moment in time, we don't know the exact sensors being used. Now it's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in the USA, and then the global markets are getting the Exynos 2500, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and a choice of 256 or 512 storage, and this will of course be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4900 mAh battery with 45 watt fast charging, and of course it's going to come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and it's expected to launch from around $1,000 in January 2025. Now finally, we've got the most premium model, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and the S25 Ultra is coming with a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display with improvements to brightness and the color accuracy. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+, a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and it's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Armor 2. We're likely going to get a 12 megapixel camera for the selfies, but there are a few rumors that it could be the first S phone with an under-panel camera. And on the rear, we get a quad camera setup consisting of a wide, an ultra wide, a telephoto and a periscope camera, but again, at this moment in time, we don't know the exact sensors being used. Now it's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in all regions, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and up to a terabyte of storage, and this will of course be UFS 4. It's coming with a 5000 mAh battery with 45 watt fast charging, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra wideband, and it's going to be launching with One UI 7 based on Android 15, and the S25 Ultra is expected to launch from $1,300 in January 2025. So while the design may look the same for the Galaxy S25 series, we do get plenty of upgrades in the form of the display, the cameras, the chipset and the software, and if we do get the first full-screen display on an S phone, then I'm sure many people are going to be excited. Now a lot of focus is going into AI, and the new partnership between Samsung and Google are no doubt going to deliver some impressive new features with the launch of the S25 series. Now of course, given its similarities to the predecessor, it's probably not going to make anyone with an S24 want to rush for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older S phone or looking to get their first S phone, then it's going to be a great choice. Now of course, launch is still very far away, but we're no doubt going to get plenty more leaks as we approach it, and of course I'm going to be sharing them as soon as they come in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.